All right, I'm going to go over the homeschool connection number 1, the first homework of the year. And so I went over with students today. I had them write down it's due Friday, so I was going to be collecting that. And I went over this. So in science, we began investigating heat energy and its ability to transfer between objects. Think about your experiences so far when choosing your answers. So imagine the following situation. You have 2 thermometers, one put into a wool bin and the other left on the counter. Both thermometers are left in the same room undisturbed for an hour. Read the statements below and choose the one that most represents what you will find when looking at each thermometer. So the diagram here, I told them, hey, the bulb of the thermometer is not sticking out. In reality, the thermometer is completely in the wool bin, so none of it is being exposed to the air. So they have to circle one. And then in class, what we did is they had to describe their thinking, explain why they chose the answer they did, and to get full credit, they have to write 2 complete sentences minimum. So that's for full credit, and we did that in class today. Then what they have to do at home is the next part, they will have to interview somebody at home. So it could be a parent, guardian, or older relative. So they have to write down who they're working with. And then they have to explain the thermometer problem from above. Ask them which answer they believe would be closest to what would happen. So the student has to circle A, B, or C, the one that they interviewed chose. And then they need to have them explain why they chose what they did and record their explanations below. Now, what students need to do is they are practicing 3 of the norms of collaboration that we learn in class. They need to pause. They need to pause after posing a question. So they're going to pose these questions to you, and they need to pause before you respond so that you have time and opportunity to form your thoughts. And then what they need to do is paraphrase your thinking. So they need to say in their own words back to you what your thinking was. And what this allows you to do is to clarify your thoughts, maybe add or modify what you said to them to clarify your thinking. And so what they need to do is they need to paraphrase, write in minimum of 2 complete sentences what your explanation was and why you thought that way. It's not something you write yourself. It's the student's job is to paraphrase what your verbal communication was to you as far as that goes. Now, what they need to do is some of the questions they need to ask you is, well, why do you think that? Can you say more about that? What is your evidence, or what is your experiences that led you to think that way? What I'm hearing so that's paraphrasing. What I'm hearing is, so that's how they can pose questions to you. So that's to be done at home, and we did this in class already. So this challenge part, we already did in class, they wrote their answers out. So all they need to do at home is this section right here. So I want to thank you ahead of time for helping your student with their homework. The big point of this is to practice their norms of collaboration, also to let you know what's going on, for parent and child to communicate what's actually going on in science class at school. All right, thank you for listening.